Welcome to SeaWorld.
We just arrived on SeaWorld Orlando. We've been here a couple of times before. We were here yesterday just for a couple of hours at night. Now we're here for the whole day.
So we're heading straight to Journey to Atlantis.
Change of plans, Journey to Atlantis is down. They are saying it's temporarily closed, so hopefully we'll open later. We've just done the Journey to Atlantis in SeaWorld San Diego, and the one here is a lot better. So I was really looking forward to go back on it.
It's got an amazing dark ride section inside, and the water coaster parts are really good.
The one in SeaWorld San Diego just had this feeling that I was missing something. It looked really cheap. This one is really worth doing.
It is a shame not to get on it, but we've done it before, so.
This area here, the outside part of the coaster, I think it's really well done. Looks really good.
Kraken, that's next door.
Yeah, let's do Kraken.
Love Kraken. Kraken reminds me of like 18 years ago when I would come to SeaWorld and all what there'll be was Kraken and Journey to Atlantis. All we would do all day long, just lap Kraken. And I still love it. And I've got that, I think, that nostalgic reason to love it.
Kraken is really good. It has some very good elements.
It's quite forceful.
With Kraken and everything else here in this park, you can choose your own row when you get to the station, which is good. They have a specific queue for front row. That was a lot longer than the other rows, but it's good that they let you queue for that if you want. The only thing is, with the FastPass system, if you're using FastPass, they had the second row closed and designed that for FastPass. So if you're FastPassing it, the only option that you get is the second row. You don't have the chance to choose. The SeaWorld is all about the sea animals, and you can see a lot of animals around the park. For example, right now here we're passing through sea lions, and you can buy food to feed them, and it's quite funny. We just saw like one of the sea lions like being fed and playing with the fish.
They make so much noise. They're desperate for the food. Quite deafening.
So you have all of these viewing platforms around the animals, so you can have the views
Of Manta and, there, see.
You do have amazing views of the coffee from here as well. So SeaWorld is also famous for all the shows of the animals as well. We are not going to do the shows. We never do the animal shows here in SeaWorld.
I just don't like animal shows. I just don't think animals should be made to perform.
In Mako area, and Mako is a type of a shark, so they have all these shark things around in the coaster. They have a bar and grill with all these aquariums that you can see the fishes and the sharks. It's really cool.
It almost doesn't look real because it looks so amazing, and some of the sharks are huge they've got in the tank.
They have some things outside that you can see the sharks as well, and now we're gonna get into the shark encounter, which is right next to as well in the same area. just really crowded. Today is not like the busiest day, but it's kind of busy. And the thing is, like, you go through this tunnel that you walk, and then there is this path that it keeps getting busier and busier and busier, and they start getting more narrow until you go to another tunnel that you have sharks around you with a moving platform. And that is really cool, but it's so crowded and so many screaming kids singing Baby Shark. But it's worth doing, it's cool. Now we're gonna do Mako. Mako is a very good B&M Hyper. It's one of my favorites, probably top 3.
I felt it was overrated the first time I went on it, but now I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoyed that ride, and we were on it last night, and I really enjoyed them rides as well.
Yeah, the night ride is so good. It's not lit up. Some coasters on this park, they lit up at night, some they don't. So this is one of the coasters that is not lit up at all, and it's really cool because it's by the water, and at night you barely see things, but then you see that you're going over water. It has very good airtime moments, probably the best color scheme on a B&M Hyper. I love the color scheme.
Yeah, it looks awesome, especially on the water. Operations have been fantastic as well. They are getting them trains out so quick.
We have the Busch Gardens in SeaWorld Annual Pass, and one of the benefits here in SeaWorld Orlando, they have a members lounge that have free drinks inside this restaurant here that is by Infinity Falls. It's kind of like just a place that you can sit, and they have the fountain drinks that you can get it for free. You can buy the all season drink cup as well that you can fill up anywhere in the park, in all of the parks. But if you don't, you can just get them for free here. All the tables on the members lounge have this mix of all the maps from SeaWorld. So you have really old maps until the new ones. We spend a lot of time looking at all of them and seeing how SeaWorld changed throughout the years, all the rides that they used to have and they don't have anymore, and what they replaced it with.
Mako in 1 year, and then Infinity Falls, and then working out, okay, this is where Icebreaker would be now. So it's quite cool seeing how it's changed so much.
Like we said, this is by Infinity Falls, which is their rapids. This is one of my favorite rapids.
The problem is it gets very wet, so we're not going on it today. It's a little bit chillier today, but it is really worth doing.
I'm so sad to skip it today because it's one of the best rapids. So it has a lift, which I think is an amazing element when rapids has lifts. And then there is this massive drop. The drop in Infinity Falls has the record for the biggest drop in the rapids. The rapids section, it's really good, it's so violent, but we saw people getting out of it now, and they were so wet. We did it before, and it's so worth it. If I had never been on it before, I would go on it today, even being cold, because I think it's worth getting at least one. You can rent a paddle boat here to go on the lake. It's $7 per person or $10 for 2 people in a boat. We're just gonna skip that. If you wanted to go, pass holders has discount as well. It's $5 per person, which came down to the same price going to anyway. But it's a very cool lake to do a paddling boat because you have the view of the coaster surrounding the lake. So you have Mako here, you have Pipeline on the other side. It's a very nice view that you have from there. Even just looking across the lake from several points in the park, I think this park does look really nice. Now we're gonna do Penguin Track, which is the new coaster that they had in this park. So this was a new coaster for both of us. We went here last night, so we did it already. We did it at night, and now we're gonna do it during the day, and then we give our full review on that. Like everywhere here in SeaWorld, you need to get lockers. So we got a locker for the day and paid like $12. It's really annoying because it's so small, so we can barely fit the backpack.
No, I'm gonna have to take some stuff out. Welcome to SeaWorld. the last one.
Right, before going on to the review of Penguin Trek, let's just finish talking about this situation of lockers in SeaWorld. SeaWorld has a very weird and unclear policy about bags on rides. Every ride here, they have bins in the stations, so you could leave your bags there. Some of them are quite big to fit an entire backpack, but usually the staff doesn't allow you to go on the queues with your backpack. They force you to get the lockers. Like we said, it's $12 for the whole day. You can move the lockers from one station to another, but they're really small, so it's really difficult to fit everything in one locker. So if you have a big backpack, it's gonna be hard.
It makes no sense. Big backpacks are not allowed in queues. Big backpacks have to go in a locker. Big backpacks can't fit in a locker. So, like, come on, SeaWorld. And it's $12 a day.
The thing that gets confusing is because every time it seems like the staff that is in the entrance of the queue, they would have different rules for the bags that you have. So sometimes we can get with bum bags and they're fine. Then we just put them on the bins on the station. I've seen some staff saying to people, you're not allowed to go in the queue with a bum bag, so you need to rent a locker for that. I was wearing a bum bag at the same time and they let me in, but the people behind us, they didn't allow the same person. Right now, for example, they just told us that the backpack should go on the locker for Penguin Trek, but when we were exiting the ride, there was a big backpack of the same size on the bin. So it's very confusing. Yesterday, we didn't even rent the locker. They let us in all the queues. Then we saw someone being denied with a bag as well. It kind of depends on luck. If you get someone that will let you in with your bag or not. Anyway, the ride now. Penguin Trek is the new coaster. It's a family multi-launch coaster from B&M. It's quite good for families. The coaster starts indoors with an indoor section after the station. It's quite cool. It's better than I was expecting. First you have a screen with, it's kind of like an aquarium. It's kind of like you're going inside ice. There is a part that is a little bit weird. That is kind of like a dead spot with just black walls. And they have music, sound effects as well, which I think was great. They don't have onboard audio throughout the whole ride, but they have the music on this indoor part and on the first launch, and then on the end of the ride as well.
Ride itself is alright. Got some quite good elements for family ride. So it does feel like it's that good step up coaster and something else for the children to do when they are bored with some of the smaller coasters, and so I think it does fit a gap in the market for SeaWorld, and I think it is just quite a good choice of ride to build.
Yeah, because you have a kiddie coaster that is like a very, very small coaster on the Sesame Street area, which is the kid area of the park. Then you have Journey to Atlantis and all the big coasters. You was kind of missing something in the middle.
It has the B&M rattle, and anyone who tells me, oh, it's got a B&M rattle, it's got a Mac rattle, anything like that, I always say, shut up, you're over-exaggerating. This is ridiculous. This thing is so rattly for a brand new coaster.
I think it's well teamed to a certain point. The station, the queue looks good. It's not amazing, but compared to other rides here, I think it's okay. The area looks good. Where it is this whole Arctic area. There's all this ice surrounding you. They have a restaurant, a cafe that is all in the same theming of the coaster. And I think it works really well on the area. I think it looks quite good. It looks good now on Christmas, I think. They have this massive Christmas tree in the area. At night, it looks so good when it's lit up. The only problem is the end of the coaster. It's a good thing and a bad thing. It ends with a walkthrough through penguins, but you're forced to do it, and it takes forever. When you're doing it for the first time, it's really cool. You exit the ride, you go through these penguins, then it's like kind of like 3 rooms that you pass by. You need to wait, and then you go to another one, and then they wait to open the doors because it's all refrigerated in the penguin area, and then you have the view underwater. It is quite cool when you're doing it for the first time, but then if you're rewriting the coaster for the second, third, fourth time, it starts to get annoying that you have to go through this whole process again, and it takes forever.
The problem with it is they share it with other guests, so you don't just have to go on the rides to experience the penguin exhibit. but other guests are having to queue for this to get in as well. So you end up having a queue to exit the ride, basically. And like say the first time you go on it is cool, but if you're having a queue to leave the ride every time, it gets rid of the re-rideability.
Journey to Atlantis is still closed. We don't think it's gonna open today, which is a shame. We're gonna rewrite Kraken now, then go on another coaster that is open. Coaster's closed, but the gift shop is open. Of course it is. Change of plans again. We're not doing Kraken. They were running with 2 trains in this morning. Now they're running 1 train, which is ridiculous. The queue is just not worth it. Yesterday was really quiet, the park. Everything was open, and everything except for Manta was running 2 trains. I was actually so impressed that they were running 2 trains on everything else. And now that the park is busy, they're running 1 train.
Feels like yesterday was the end of IAPA. So in case anyone came over from IAPA, which is the Institution and Association for Amusement Parks and Attractions, it has everyone in the industry. A lot of them can come to SeaWorld afterwards, and I feel like they had this to try and show off yesterday, whereas they're not needed to do that today. So we just quickly saw the dolphin nursery. That's all I have to say about that.
This is a cool thing here in SeaWorld. They have these spots here with Wi-Fi and chargers that you can charge your phone. The park actually has Wi-Fi throughout the whole park, and it works really well. We're gonna do Manta now. Manta is probably my favorite B&M flying coaster. It competes with Tatsu from Six Flags Magic Mountain for me.
I have them very close, but I think I will just about put Tatsu. It changes every time I ride. If I'm riding Tatsu, I'll say Tatsu. If I'm riding Manta, I'll say Manta. They're very close.
The best element on both of them is the same, is the pretzel look. That's why they are so much better than the others. The pretzel look is so intense and it's so good. It feels like it's going on forever. The difference is, on Manta, the pretzel loop is towards the beginning of the ride, and in Tatsu is towards the end. I prefer the pretzel loop being towards the end than right in the beginning, because you keep that excitement throughout the ride, waiting for the pretzel loop. When you do it towards the beginning, you know that everything else on the ride, although it's going to be good, it's not going to be as good as what you just did.
I have the second half of Manta better than the first half of Tatsu. But if you could have that second half of Manta before, which I know you can't, but if you could, that's how you would get the perfect combination between the two. That mascot is really scary. I feel like they shouldn't have mascots for animals like this in a park that has animals.
So realistic. This is a great kids area. We're on Sesame Street area now, which is the kids area of the park. It's really well themed.
It's a lot better than all the other SeaWorld ones. It's looking really good. So much to do, so much random interactive stuff.
Now Marcus is just playing this game. That's really fun for kids. And for Marcus.
Yes!
Here's where they have the kiddie coaster.
1 + 1, 1 + 1, 1 + 1 equals us.
We already got that credit, so we're not gonna ride that. Even like the food cars, they have all the screens with the characters from Sesame Street. Looks very cool for kids. Between the Sesame Street area and Icebreaker, they have this amazing beer garden, and there's a bar there. Now they have some Christmas kiosks as well. all these tables that you can just sit here, drink a beer, relax. I think it looks really nice, especially with the lights. It's a really cute area to just come and take a break. Now we're just gonna join the queue for icebreaker.
It's on 1 hour. It's probably on one train up.
Icebreaker is really good.
It really is. I think it's really underrated.
It's so enjoyable. You start with the swing launch and you're launching back and then launching forward, then launching backwards again, and then forwards again, and then you do the whole cycle. But on the launches, they have little airtime hills. I had a lot of space on my restraint. The airtime that I got was ridiculous. So on the launches and then with the airtime hills, and then after the fourth launch that you go over the top, the airtime there was great as well. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great coaster.
I think it has the best airtime in the park by a long way.
Yeah, it really, really does. To me, the best part is the part of the launches because of all the air times, and the launches are good. They're not that forceful, but they're good. So it's really worth doing.
I like after the top hat, it stays quite low to the ground with lots of airtime hills, and they're all really forceful as well. And it has that sense of speed, and I think it's a really great package.
We just did pipeline now. I really, really like pipeline. Pipeline is one of the newest coasters as well. Is the new version of the B&M's stand-up coasters, and it's really good because usually stand-up coasters, they're very uncomfortable, but this has the technology that you bounce on your seat, so it's really comfortable and it fixes all the problems that the old stand-up coaster used to have.
Pipeline is just incredibly good fun. With the bouncing, there's certain air time throughout the ride, and when you go over there, you can jump and it will let you go higher off the floor, so your feet don't touch the floor. Now that sounds scary when you go to come back down, but it does it in such a way that gently lowers you back down to the board, so it makes you feel just as comfortable when you get back down to the board as well. So there's nothing to fear on that.
Usually when we do a stand-up coaster, we always like to jump in the right moments, because if you jump in the right moment, you have that awesome sensation of floating on the air times. But this makes it so much better because the seats will jump with you, and it is really, really good. The theme of the coaster, it fits the park so well. A surf coaster, it makes sense to be standing up. It fits the park and it fits the type of the coaster as well. So you're in a surfboard, which looks really cool, standing up, bouncing. It makes so much sense. It's a very unique coaster because you only have this model here so far. I would love to see more parks getting coasters like that.
I find the problem with the model is if you are a bit larger, you will struggle to get on this. I find it really struggles with larger guests more than any other ride type I've seen.
But I do feel like the restraints are also very comfortable.
They've got the vest collars that go over you as well, and the way you can bounce up and down, it doesn't feel like they lock fully in place, so it does feel a lot more comfortable being on this.
Yeah, they give a lot of movement. You can go forwards and up and down, so that's why they're really comfortable.
One thing I like about Pipeline is it's like that opening roller coaster that you see as you enter the park. So it's right on the right hand side as you enter the park, and it gives you that anticipation for the day.
It's a coaster that looks really good. It's so cool to see all these people standing up, bouncing up and down. So we did 3 more rides on Mako. They let you stay on the train if the station is quiet, so they just tell you to go to any road that there is no one on it. I love when parks let you do that.
Mako's gone up my rankings a lot as well this year. It's really good, it's running really well.
The night ride is fantastic. It feels like you're diving into the water. It's so good.
Mucho bom.
We just finished the day now with a rewrite on Manta. which was amazing. They are running with 2 trains today. Yesterday they were running with only 1 train at night. It's really quiet, but they're not letting you stay in the train and re-ride like they do on Mako, which is really weird. It's like we said, sometimes they have some policies here that is different from ride to ride or from staff to staff. The queue of this coaster is definitely the best of the park. The queue is all indoors, which is great when you have these very hot days in Florida. You have all these aquariums that you can see, the mantas, the stingrays and fish and sharks, and they look so cool. If the queue is really big, you have all the entertainment for the queue to be looking at it. If it's quiet like it was for us, you can take your time. We stayed there for a long time just looking at the fish. I'm not really a person that likes to go to the zoo and look at animals, but it was so good. And you have this music playing on the queue that matches the movements of the fish and the stingrays. It really looks beautiful. The whole aquarium that they built, it looks like a very good setting for them. And if you want to look all these aquariums with more calm, or if you don't want to go on the coaster and you still want to look at them right next to the queue for Manta, you can go into the aquarium. You have a view of the same aquarium but more to the side, and you have different animals that you can see as well. There is a tiny aquarium with small seahorses. There is a part that is really cool that you have the aquarium above your head, so you can see the fishes going above you, the stingrays on top of you, you can see underneath them. It's a really cool idea. Here by the entrance you have the coaster coffee, and they have these miniatures of Mako and Kraken, which look really cool. It's a very cool decoration for the coffee.
It's a little bit inaccurate, it feels. Like,
Yeah.
there's no turnaround. I know they can't do the turnarounds, but the turnarounds where it should be, there isn't. There's a dive loop as the first element on Kraken, and it should be a loop. Feels a bit weird, but it looks really cool though.
Here in the entrance of the park, they have lockers right here. And on these lockers, they have 3 options of size. The small, that is the same that they have in every ride, the medium and the large. So if you have a large backpack, you can rent a locker here in the entrance, but it's a lot more expensive than the lockers on the rides. Even the small one that we pay $12 for the whole day, if you rent here for the same size, you pay $15, which I really don't get it.
Even the largest one, you're not going to fit a suitcase in. So if you need to go to the airport afterwards and you bring a suitcase, it's not going to be good enough for that.
If you're bringing a backpack to wear on the park with things for you to use during the day, the only locker that you would find to fit a big backpack will be in the entrance. So it kind of loses the point. It's only to do something like Marco said. If you're going to the airport, if you're traveling somewhere else, you have things that you're just carrying with you and you're not going to use throughout the day, then you can leave it here. This was our day here in SeaWorld. I love this park. I think when you compare to the other SeaWorlds here in America, this is the best one, and it's by far. We've been to SeaWorld San Antonio in Texas and SeaWorld San Diego in California. They have a lot of empty space and they're not very well presented, and it feels like it lacks more standout attractions. While here in Orlando, the park looks very nice. The park has a lot of attractions, and it has a lot of attractions that are really good. So I could change between which one is my favorite right here. Probably Manta, but it has been Mako as well. I saw people saying that Pipeline was the favorite, which I understand. It's a unique coaster, it's very fun. So there's a lot of rides that I would say that are standout rides. Even the Rapid, Infinity Falls, is one of the best rapids I've done. The park has a very complete layout of attractions. Flying coaster, stand-up coaster,
Hyper coaster, floorless coaster, launch coaster, another launch coaster, another launch coaster.
a water coaster, family coaster, rapids, a lot of shows, a lot of animal experiences.
SeaWorld Orlando feels like a complete park to me. Very well presented, and it is very clean. I think the staff have been really good today. The only thing is sometimes the operations does let you down, so Kraken going down to 1 train for no apparent reason is quite annoying at times. And we've seen that before in the past. We've seen some rides only have 1 train operations when it should be 2, and the queues are building up. But overall, I really like SeaWorld Orlando. I do enjoy coming back at each time.
So tomorrow we're going to Busch Gardens Tampa, so make sure to subscribe and watch that vlog next.